I believe that immigration to South Korea should be encouraged because of three reasons. First, Korean can be more famous. For example, many people can know about Korea and they can know about Korea very detailed. Like when they want to immigration to Korea, they will search about Korea and Korea's information is more widespread. And second, Korea can resolve problems. For instance, the Koreas have population problems, but when people immigration to South Korea can solve that problem, and it makes economy more grow. And third, Korea can make one work. For example, the Korea can remember by immigration stage and people want to come. And Korea can take one jobs like management about immigration. And also our economy will grow up too. I believe that immigration to South Korea should be encouraged.
If we mix too much then we make competition. We will lose our birthplace and cultures. There will be many points. First, there will be less workplace. Most of immigrants come to Korea to have jobs. To have jobs, they will work with less money. So employees will use them instead of Koreans. But I don't think they really work hard at Korea, which is not their country. They just work for money, not for Korea. So if we use Korean, then they will work really well and the economy will grow. And second, we can lose our culture. If they come and spread their culture, then there will be people who lose our culture. We eat hamburgers instead of rice and kimchi, and most people don't wear hanbok in New Year's Day. Even we can lose our language. Most of signboards are English. Thus, there will be many crimes. If people who deal with drugs or weapons come to Korea, there will be many crimes. There are many people who came to Korea. It's hard to check everyone at the airport and expert criminals. Last, she says we can solve the problem with population, but we can solve this problem by encouraging to get more babies. And she says we can be more famous, but it's not only the to be famous. There will be many chances. We can lose our culture and our soil.
Plus, there the shortage of job problem, but I think that we can give them hard work and it makes economy to more grow. And on the other hand, she said that we can lose our language or our culture, but I think that we can make our new culture and new language, and it makes more Korea powerful. And Korea can be more bigger country like USA or another country. So I think it is a chance to make Korea more famous and powerful.
I think that immigration to South Korea should be increased. I have three reasons. First, South Korea shortage labor. This means the South Korea needs more labor. But our childbirth rate is low, so our nation's senior citizens rate is increasing now. In order to solve this problem, we should receive foreigner women or participate to childbirth. Second, South Korea, many men can't marry because we insufficient women. The solution can be immigration. In fact, our nation, some men marry with foreigner women. Last, people is also power and the people can be economy. This means if we have many people, our level of our economy is high. Most people work in their business. The result of working can be quality of economy, and we can have much power and economy. So I think that immigration to South Korea should be increased. According to my opinion, the reasons are labor, merit, and economy.
I think South Korea shouldn't encourage immigrants. If we encourage immigrants, there will be too many problems. First, they can make the economy of South Korea goes down. If we encourage immigrants, there will be too many of the poor immigrants who want to earn money in Korea. But in Korea, if we want to get job, we have to get college. We have to study in college or high school. But most of poor people couldn't study at college, so they shouldn't get job, and they will not get job, and then South Korea should serve them by our taxes, and we waste our money, then economy will go down. Second, there will be too much criminals. We can protect them by law, but many of the immigrant criminals treat the law, and if they come to Korea, there will be many social problems. Third, there are too many immigrant problems now. For example, cultural problems. In case of immigrants who came from America, she used bad words to a Korean old man. As you can see this case, so there would be too many immigrant problems. In conclusion, we shouldn't encourage immigrants to Korea because there would be too many social problems, and they can make our economy goes down. And Cindy said there are too little population in Korea, but if some people get married and they born their children, but I think we can't measure our future population or now population. Second, now the Korean men can't marry, but I think there are enough girls to marry in Korea. I think that the girl in Korea avoid the marriage. Third, they can make the economy goes up. But as I said in first reason, I don't agree with that. Thank you.
Now I tell you my opinion against Ruth's opinion. First, he says immigration can go down the economy, but this idea is opposite my last opinion. Second, he said there will be too much criminals. However, if we build up our population information, we can reduce criminals. Last, he said there are too many immigration problems now. This sentence has a little problem. The problem can be solved. The solution is intensification security. Thank you.
I think the immigration to South Korea should be encouraged. Concerned with three reasons. First, if many other countries' people immigration to South Korea, many other countries' culture can coexist with our culture. So we can learn many culture we can many culture. A good example is USA. In USA, many other countries' cultures coexist, so they are the center of each government, economy, and culture now. Second, the world many countries people will know about the South Korea. Many people come into South Korea when it comes to immigration. Korea will introduce many other countries' people naturally. Third, Korea's economy will be good. Korea is an aging society, so if many other countries' people immigration to South Korea and they work very hard in Korea, our economy will be good. So I think immigration to South Korea should be increased.
I think the immigration to South Korea shouldn't be encouraged because first, it might destroy culture. Enough international culture is good, but if that destroys Korean culture, I think it is bad. I don't really agree for the Chinatown in Korea because the young people might think that that is part of Korean culture. Secondly, it can make Korea dangerous. We don't know if the immigrant is a criminal, and if that person come in, they will commit crimes in Korea. Lastly, there will be no jobs for Koreans. The immigrants will get most of the job in Korea, and Koreans will lose their careers. For the rebuttal, Emily said first that if other countries' people come to Korea, they will contact with Korean culture. That can be right, but what if they just come to escape and just live in such as Chinatown or other city like Chinatown? And secondly, she said the immigrants will know about Korea, but they will of course know Korea. However, they might know Korea as a bad country because of a small thing Korean did. Last, she said it'll make Koreans' economy better. Well, we don't know. As I said in my last reason, Koreans might lose their jobs because of the immigrants. Then it doesn't matter whether the economy get better or not, because I think comfortable life is prior than economy of a country. Also, they might make economy bad by just eating money and almost playing in the company. Thank you.
Claire said immigration to South Korea should be not increased. Well, I don't think so. It will depend on us to act. Claire said other countries' people will destroy our culture. Well, I don't think so. It will depend on us to act accordingly. If we only follow the culture of other countries, our traditional culture will destroy. We are hard and conserve our cultures, and we are a few of culture with other countries with our traditional culture, and then Korea will develop prayerfully than before. And she said immigration is dangerous, but I think these days the preservation is good in the airport. If we will enforce the preservation more and we make a new law, I think the immigration isn't dangerous.
And lastly, I think it will lead Korea to have much more employment because there are many Chinese looking for the jobs in Korea. Koreans won't have their own jobs. And because Chinese or other foreigners have cheaper pay than Koreans, many factories are looking for foreigners, and it will lead Korea to have much more unemployment. Those are all of my 3 reasons why I think immigration to South Korea should not be encouraged. And I hope that not many people will come to Korea. For the rebuttal of James, he said Korea needs immigrants because the population is decreasing. But I think not only by immigration, there will be another solution like making the parents to have more children. And second, he said immigration will be good for our economy. But because he said not many rich people are coming to Korea. But I don't think that because many poor people are coming to Korea, not the rich people.
I will tell you my rebuttal on Candy. First, Candy said it's conflict, but we can solve this problem with education. Second, she told me it's important to protect our pure culture, but we cannot survive because our population is growing decreasing. Lastly, she told me many people take Korean's job, but many Korean people don't want factory jobs, so it's good for us.
Hello, I'm one of the members of a pro team. Proposition is immigration to South Korea should be encouraged. Immigration. This is one of the most phenomenons in our society. Here, many foreigners immigrate to other countries. America is a common example. Our country, Korea, was immigrated by many foreigners. But if more foreigners come to Korea, our will. I think immigration to South Korea should be encouraged. First, now it is a World Day, so we have to meet many people. But if we refuse meeting people, we are isolated like North Korea. So we have to accept many foreigners. If so, we can prepare to go tomorrow. So I think immigration to South Korea should be encouraged. Second, most of us have preferred disease to scare foreigners to use other languages. What is worse, adults speaking other languages very well is true. To cure it, we should many opportunity to meet foreigners. If so, we are better than now, and Korea can have many talents. So I think immigration to South Korea should be encouraged. So, if more foreigners come to Korea, economy would be developed because they have many resources. Although we have negative thoughts like population program, decreasing job, etc. This happen are what is most experience. So anyway, I think immigration to South Korea should be encouraged. In conclusion, I said 3 reasons for this proposition. First, if not, we must be isolated. Second, we should cure spiritual peace to scare foreigners for our family. So, this phenomenon is good for the economy. Except that I have many thoughts. Therefore,
Hi, my name is Ella. I'm Contim and I'm going to talk about why immigration to South Korea should not be encouraged. I have 3 reasons. First, Korea's culture and tradition should not be destroyed. In America, people use a lot of kinds of language because they accept immigrants. They use English, Spanish, Russian, and blah blah. There are so many. If we encourage immigration, won't be Korean no more. Will be just melting pot. Second, it occurs economic problem. Immigrants take away our job and money. Like Philippines, they work hard and earn money. They send them to their family that is in their country. It cannot be helping our economy. Last, it makes discrimination. You know, our recognition for immigrants is bad. On TV show, some foreigners said that they have some experience that Koreans discriminate them. Discrimination is not right thing to do. For rebuttal to Harry said that we don't say stop immigration. We said that immigration to South Korea should not be encouraged. Second, as I said in my speech, immigrants take away our money and jobs. It's not good to Korean economy.
And then you said Korea's tradition should be destroyed. But if we 아끼다가 if we say what is for 아끼다? If we love our tradition, we don't do it. Second, you said economic problem. But my third reason I can explain it. So you said discrimination. But if not, we don't accept originals. We discriminate more because we don't know about them. So I don't worry about them.
Hello, I'm Ted from Protein, and I absolutely think we should allow and encourage allowing immigration. I have three reasons why I think like this. First of all, encouraging immigration will help our economy to grow. We need more consumers and workers to grow our economy. Case in point, USA's economy is strong. You know why? It's because of immigrants. Young consumers and working hard workers encourage the US economy to grow. So if we want to be a wealthy country, we should encourage immigration. Second, we'll have aging problems, so-called old problems, old people problems. So there will be many retired people, and then we'll have no workers to work. So we should allow immigration so we can prevent shortage of workers before we miss the right time. Lastly, immigration is a right that all people have equally. We don't have any right to stop it. If we restrict immigration, it will be like slavery, because it is restrict our liberty. So I think we should allow and encourage immigration. The reasons why I think like this are because it can solve aging problem, it can help our economy to grow, and it is alright. So our protein absolutely think we should encourage immigration. Thanks to listen my story.
Hello, my name is Sandy. Today our proposition is that immigration to South Korea should be encouraged, and I disagree with it. There are three reasons why I disagree with it. First, it's not good for economy. For example, some immigrants came from Philippines, work in Korea, company or factory, then they send their money to their families who are still living in home country. Also, by working in our country, so many Koreans lose their job. Second, it can cause a lot of crime. For example, a few days ago, I saw news about an immigrant who stole Korean bags, and maybe there are so many other immigrants steal Korean materials. Third, it's not good for our culture. Our culture have our own soul and spirit, so we have to preserve our culture.
Yeah, good.
Ted said that we need more workers, but I disagree with it. My first reason, we can be rebuttal for his ideas. And he said we need more consumers, and travelers also can be consumers. Thank you.
Sandy said it is not good for our economy, but I don't agree with her. Because if we allow immigration, it will help our economy to grow. Because we can have a lot of consumers and workers. And she also said it can make a lot of crimes. But I don't disagree with it too, because it is not a problem for immigration, it is just a problem of police. And finally, she said it is not good for our culture, but I don't think it will be a problem, because immigration is a new history, isn't it? History is always changes, so allowing immigration will not be a problem. Thank you.
I agree with the proposition that immigration to South Korea could be encouraged. The first reason is that population will increase. When it is big to immigrate to South Korea, more youngers will migrate to find jobs or to live better lives. When they come, our society could have more younger workers and make solutions of age gap problems. The second reason is that Korea could be more globalized. When the immigration becomes legally, there are many kinds of mixture of immigrations. To adapt and to know their cultures, people can get out of the thinking of racial discrimination. The third reason is that the Korean languages would be developed. Observing other languages by foreigners, Korean vocabularies will be made more. Also, when more people try to use the Korean languages, the grammar or other functions can be growth. For this, Koreans should welcome immigrants.